Let me begin by saying I welcome India's presidency of the Council this month, and indeed thank you for holding this important debate. I also want to thank Ms. Maria Viotti and Ms. Gada Wali for their briefings earlier. Your Excellency, we must value a resource in order to protect it. The maritime domain and the related blue economy is one such precious resource. We depend on the maritime domain for food security, navigation, for international trade, tourism, and ecological heritage, among other essential aspects for our citizens' livelihoods. However, the maritime domain is inadvertently a field prone to insecurity that affects coastal nations and entire region stability. Piracy, narcotic trafficking, arms smuggling, and other transnational threats all thrive in the maritime space, undercutting government authority and investor confidence. Your Excellency is cognizant of the development potential of the maritime domain. Kenya has and continues to champion environmentally friendly and sustainable exploitation of the blue economy. Indeed, it is in this context that in November of 2018, together with Canada and Japan, we hosted the first ever Global Sustainable Blue Economy Conference in Nairobi, attracting delegates from over 184 countries. The conference dedicated a session to maritime security, recognizing that a secure maritime domain is an enabler for seaborne trade, jobs, as well as wealth creation. Kenya, therefore, welcomes this debate as continuing conversation on the subject and the Council's contribution to the attainment of the aspirations of the 2018 Nairobi Sustainable Blue Economy Conference. Mr. President, Kenya is an Indian Ocean rim state. This means that we are part of a region that brings together countries from 3 continents with different sizes, economic strengths, and a wide diversity of languages and cultures. Today, when we look into the greater Indian Ocean rim, we see a vibrant grouping that has recorded and sustained the fastest economic growth in human history. We are, however, alive to the threats in the rim, which deserve much more multinational cooperation and multinational attention if we hope to sustain the economic progress achieved so far. Piracy remains a threat to shipping. In the Straits of Malacca, the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, criminal networks are active in piracy, illicit trafficking of persons, firearms, narcotics. In addition, competition and meddling for influence and resources in the region by extra-regional powers has also intensified. Unless addressed with nuance, this will continue undermining the security of the coastal states and the maritime domain, and indeed the livelihoods of millions of people. On this confluence of opportunity and threat, Mr. President, allow me to underscore the following action points that I recommend the Council and the international community to consider. The first is that we need better coordinated existing maritime security strategies and mediation mechanisms. This we can by strengthening the international legal regime and institutions at the forefront of addressing maritime security. Secondly, geopolitical rivalries that manifest in insecurity of the maritime domain must be limited. Competition between established and rising powers leaves us all worse off. Instead, we need a strengthened emphasis on observing international law and resisting the lure of promoting proxy rivalries in pursuit of narrow interests. Third is our understanding that the threats to the maritime security, such as terrorism at sea, piracy and robbery at sea, are predominantly a factor of land-based instability, meaning that secure maritime routes and economic zones depend on helping develop more capable and legitimate states able to resolve domestic as well as regional challenges. And fourth, that international cooperation should prioritize equipping and training effective national coast guards, a priority contextualized regional and sub-regional approach, I believe, should be the way to go. And last and not least, Mr. President, it is a reminder that the rising sea levels, as well as the extreme weather conditions, courtesy of climate change, threatens the existence of some small island states and coastal populations, and therefore successful global climate change adaptation and mitigation is key to the security of these states. Mr. President, let me, in closing my remarks, encourage more thinking and innovation to be devoted to developing ambitious free and fair trade regimes in areas such as the Indian Ocean Rim. I am confident that this can deliver economic prosperity to a large proportion of the world's poorest and therefore greatly change the world for the better. I take this opportunity also to wish India every success in this month of your presidency, and I thank you all for your kind attention.